The story begins with a boy without clothes lying in the middle of a strange, liquid-soaked forest. At first glance, it seems like a part of a college boy's joke, but the truth is something else. He has forgotten not only who he is, but also does not know where he is. After wandering for a while, he moves towards the city. Maybe someone can help him there, but there is a big problem. He is completely naked. Everything looks new in his eyes, as if he is seeing everything for the first time. Surprising people, he moves forward, but soon the police come. He is arrested and taken to the detention center. The officers gave him a name, Kyle. Kyle is taken for a medical checkup. During the entire investigation, two strange things come out. Firstly, his body is perfect. There is no pimple, and the second biggest thing is not even on his stomach. The doctor on duty is also shocked to see this. By the time his test reports come, Kyle is sent to the dining hall. There he sees other boys eating and tries to imitate them. Like he does not know anything about food, he imitates a boy, but this makes the boy angry. He thinks that Kyle is making fun of him. There is so much anger that there is a quarrel between the two. Later, when all the boys are in the yard, the same boy punches Kyle in the face. Kyle falls, and after a while his pants get wet. Seeing his strange behavior, the guards do not understand what to do. They call the psychiatric Nicole of the center, who question Kyle and try to understand what is happening to him. He is a strange boy, but absolutely innocent. He does not know the ways of the world or the customs of the people, but whatever he does, he sees a natural talent in Nicole. She asks him to draw something, and a printer like Kyle makes a perfect sketch of two people that she saw in the forest, very close to each other. They were probably lovers who wanted to be alone. Kyle's behavior is completely calm. No aggression is visible. So Nicole decides to take him to her house so that she can do some more tests to understand what happened to him. She suspects that Kyle has gone through a big accident. Maybe that's why she doesn't remember anything. Seeing Kyle at Nicole's house, Larry goes shocked. After taking bath, she comes out in a towel and gets scared after seeing an unknown boy in front of her. Both of them remain silent for a moment. Kyle seems to be lost in some other world. Lori also does not pay much attention because her mind is busy meeting her boyfriend.
After a while, Kyle goes out of the house. He sees a butterfly, and without thinking, he follows it. Then he hears sweet music from the neighboring house. When he goes inside, he meets a girl named Amanda. As soon as he hears Amanda's sweet music, tears start flowing from Kyle's eyes. He does not understand why this is happening, but he is unable to move from his place. Then Amanda turns towards him and Kyle gets scared seeing his scared face. He quickly runs back and hides in the bathtub. Meanwhile, Lori's brother Josh comes inside with an adult magazine. He is enjoying looking at the pictures, but he does not realize that another man is hiding in the bathtub. As soon as Josh sees Kyle, he screams loudly and runs straight to his mother. But in his hurry to run away, he leaves the magazine there. After scolding Josh, Nicole hears the doorbell. When she opens the door, Amanda's mother Carol is standing in front of her, full of anger. She wants to take revenge for today's incident. Carol came with her daughter in the morning to convince Kyle, but when she asks him to tell the truth, Amanda and Kyle start looking at each other with a strange, loving gaze so that the matter does not escalate further. Carol leaves from there, and Amanda also goes back to her room. That night, when Stephen returns, Nicole introduces him to Kyle and tells him that he is going to stay here for a few days. During dinner, a strange but surprising thing happens. Kyle speaks for the first time, but the words that come out of his mouth are very rude, exactly like what he had heard from the boys in the detention center. Then, without thinking, he starts repeating the same things that Lori was saying to her boyfriend on the phone. Silence prevails in the whole house, and everyone gets a shock when it is revealed that Lori was going to run away with her boyfriend, that too, without the consent of her parents. Both Nicole's children were still angry with Kyle, but the night ended without any further incident. The next morning, Nicole takes Kyle to her office so that she can continue his counseling. Josh also sees the opportunity and gives Kyle a list of questions that he had to solve for school. But when Kyle answers all the questions correctly without any difficulty, both Josh and Nicole are surprised. Now it becomes clear that Kyle is neither stupid nor does he lack understanding, but there is some other deep secret hidden behind his strange behavior. When the result of Kyle's IQ test came, everyone was shocked. His score was 400. Seeing this, the doctors decided to do more tests. When they did an MRI scan of Kyle, it was found that his brain has developed many times more than humans. His brain activity was so fast that he could either be an alien or a human robot. At night, Nicole brought Kyle back home and asked him to share a room with Josh. Josh did not like this at all, but if he complained, his punishment would have increased. In the middle of the night, when everyone was sleeping, Kyle heard the door opening. He saw Lori sneaking out of the house. Curious, Kyle followed her and saw that Lori had reached a party. Seeing the atmosphere there, Kyle also got carried away and soon got drunk. He vomited due to excessive drinking, but because he had no sense of shame, he continued the party without any worry. But then the police arrived there. An officer tries to take Lori away, but then Kyle comes in between. His face turns weird, and he starts making sounds like a snake. Seeing this, everyone starts laughing, but when the officer tries to put his hands on him, Kyle immediately moves away. The officer angrily takes out his stick to teach Kyle a lesson, but Kyle not only avoids his attack, but also embarrasses him in this way. Everyone starts clapping loudly. The officer is unable to tolerate the insult and gives up and leaves from there.
That night, Kyle brings Lori home safely. The next day, he tries to correct his mistakes and starts winning the hearts of the whole family. First, he repairs Steven's computer and returns important documents that he had lost months ago. Then, he cleans Josh's room and also brings a new magazine of his choice. With these small things, Kyle gradually wins the love of the whole family. Seeing this, Nicole thinks that she can temporarily adopt him until the secret of his past is revealed. But one strange thing was that Kyle did not sleep at night. His behavior started becoming even more strange. He kept practicing karate at night without sleep, without any fatigue, and the strangest thing was that he ate whatever he got his hands on without thinking, whether it was raw or cooked. One day, when Kyle was in the yard, a man with a van was keeping an eye on him. At first, Kyle ignored it, but gradually he started seeing the same man everywhere. Now, it was clear. Someone is keeping an eye on him. After a few days, Nicole took Kyle to a doctor, but as soon as the doctor saw the reports, he was shocked. Kyle's body looked brand new, as if he had never suffered any injury. His teeth were also brand new, without any cavity or damage, and the most shocking thing was that his brain activity was many times more than a normal human being. The doctor had no explanation for this. That night, the doctors gave Kyle sleeping pills so that he could sleep comfortably, but the hidden secret was revealed. Even after taking the sleeping pills, Kyle remained awake the whole night. This time he was not in his room, but in the yard and was just looking at the stars in the sky. Steven thought that maybe Kyle had extra energy which should be spent, so he decided that he would take Kyle for a run. Steven was a runner himself at one time, and he was sure that he could tire Kyle out. But Steven's idea backfired. Kyle was running like an Olympic athlete, and the one who got tired in the end was Steven himself. Not Kyle, but tired, and an angry Steven returns home and begins arguing with Nicole. Steven said that Kyle is not a human being, and he should go back to the place he came from. Kyle heard this himself, and it broke his heart, and he ran away from home without telling anyone. Steven tried to find him everywhere, but he could not find Kyle anywhere. The police were also called, but they said that they cannot do anything until they have 24 hours. At night, Nicole found some drawings made by Kyle on the table near her bed. There was a place in them which Nicole recognized. Without wasting time, Steven and Nicole took torches and left for the woods. Finally, they found Kyle there. He was standing in the same place and the same way, just looking at the stars as if he was missing his home. After returning home, Steven admitted his mistake and apologized to Kyle. He offered him a hot bath. When Kyle listened to the radio for the first time, he noticed a white noise coming between its signals. The next day, the story takes a new turn. The police call Nicole. They told her that a human skeleton was found near the place where Kyle was found. Nicole gets shocked to hear that Kyle has been killed. The police said that Kyle can be a murderer too, so she needs to be careful with him. Agent Taylor told Nicole that the bones found have been found with some fast-burning substance, which means that the death is recent. Also, some skin samples have been found which are being analyzed. Taylor wanted to question Kyle immediately, but Nicole somehow postpones the matter, at least until Kyle wakes up. The next morning, as soon as Kyle wakes up, he tries to watch TV, but the antenna is faulty. Without any delay, he climbs up to the roof and repairs the antenna. But as soon as he starts coming down, he jumps off the roof, and Amanda sees all this with her own eyes. Amanda gets scared after seeing all this. She thinks that Kyle must have fallen from the roof and got injured, so her attention gets diverted, and her car goes out of control. The car goes straight and collides with a big garbage bin. Just then, Kyle comes in front of her without any injury. Amanda is even more shocked to see this because she had seen with her own eyes that Kyle fell from a very high place, but there was not a single scratch on him. Carol, who already did not like Kyle, gets angry. The damage to the car was a big deal for her. She threatens Amanda that she will take back her driving license, but then Kyle goes ahead and takes all the blame on himself. Seeing this, Carol gets even more angry and screams, "Stay away from my daughter." The same night, Stephen returns home and asks Nicole to talk alone. He tells her that the police have told her another shocking thing. A man also went missing on the same day Kyle was found. Now Nicole and Stephen become even more restless, but whatever it is, they do not know that another person is listening to all their conversations. The same man who was following Kyle all day was listening to their entire conversation through a remote microphone. The next morning, when Nicole is cleaning the boys' room, she finds some pictures made by Kyle drawings. These drawings have a pattern. When she looks at them closely and puts them together, she sees a symbol, the same symbol that was found at the crime scene. It is now confirmed that Kyle was there and that he might have a connection. On the other hand, Amanda has taken up a job as a lifeguard. Kyle, who has started to like her, plans to jump into the swimming pool to get her attention, so that Amanda can save him. But a small mess happens, and people start laughing at him. Her plan turns into a big embarrassment. That evening, Amanda comes to Nicole's house to see if Kyle is okay. Nicole lets her in, but when Amanda goes to his room, she finds out that Kyle is not there. At the same time, Amanda sees all the drawings of Kyle that he made of her. Seeing this, she feels that Kyle is too obsessed with her. But the next day, Amanda again sees Kyle in the pool. This time, he asks her for help, so that she can save him. After getting some basic tips to learn swimming, Kyle starts swimming in the water like Aquaman. Everyone is shocked to see this, and even Amanda is surprised. From there, Amanda invites him to spend time together when her parents are not at home. When both of them reach her house, Amanda takes out some drawings of her father who had passed away recently. The surprising thing was that his drawings and the sketches made by Kyle looked similar. This was the reason why Amanda had called him there. Later, Kyle thought that he would make a beautiful gift for Amanda. He made an amazing portrait by combining his and Amanda's father's art style. Now, he just had to muster courage and give this gift to Amanda. That evening, he had to go to a party where he was going to meet Amanda. His plan got completely spoiled. Amanda came to the party with her boyfriend Charlie, which was a big shock for Kyle. His whole plan, which he had completed on his feelingless night. After returning home, Kyle was very sad. He was thinking about only one thing. Who is she? Why are only those jungles and stars in his memories? The next day, Nicole told him that she has called a friend who can bring back his memories through hypnosis. Kyle agreed to this, and the session started. During hypnosis, Kyle goes back to the jungle scene of that night in his mind. There, he sees the same man who was always following him. This man was fighting with another man. Then suddenly, that man fires at the other man and runs away. Then Kyle calls out his name, Tom Foss. On hearing this name, Nicole's mind starts spinning. She remembers that she had heard this name when she had gone to the police station. Tom is a new officer who has come to this city just a few days ago. This thing raises even more questions. Nicole asks Kyle to make a sketch of whatever he saw. Kyle makes a perfect portrait without any mistake, and the man's face was clearly visible. After a few days, the same face is printed in the newspaper. The man's name was Feldman, a university professor who was an expert in human memory. Now it was confirmed that the bones found in the jungle were of Feldman. Now the question was about Feldman. Kyle decides to go to the university to find out the connection with Kyle. After reaching the university, a big surprise awaits him. As soon as Kyle sees a photo in which Feldman's students are seen, his mind is shaken. In the same photo, a boy is standing who is none other than Kyle himself. But when Feldman's assistant Holly is asked, she does not remember anything about Kyle. She says that she has worked with the professor for years, but she has never seen Kyle. Kyle shows her the photo. Holly seems a little confused, but still she agrees to do some memory tests with Kyle. And here, another shocking thing comes to light. Kyle scores 100% in every test. Holly is surprised. This happened for the first time. In excitement, she tells that Feldman's research was about breaking the limits of the human mind. A human being only uses his brain at 10%, but Feldman wanted to prove this. If the entire brain is activated in some way, then what is not possible for a human being? And now one thing was certain: Kyle was a living proof of this research, and it is possible that Feldman was killed because of this. Holly takes them to Feldman's widow, who gives them permission to see some of his old documents. There, Kyle and Lori make another shocking discovery. Some drawings in which the same mysterious symbol is drawn, which was found at the crime scene. But apart from this, another thing catches their attention. The same number is written repeatedly at many places. They think that these could be coordinates. To know which place these numbers represent, they start researching on the internet. Just then, Stephen calls. He worriedly asks them where those people are. Lori requests her father to find out the truth of these coordinates. After a few minutes, Stephen calls back. What he told blew everyone's mind. These coordinates belong to a government facility, which is a military facility. It means it is under the control of— this is not just a common place, but a very secret and heavily guarded facility. To know the truth, Kyle reaches the very edge of the facility with the help of one of Feldman's students, Deck. From there, Kyle decides to move ahead alone. He jumps over the security fence. A masked man attacks him, but his nights of karate practice come in handy. Kyle defends himself and removes the mask of that man. The face that appears in front of him shocks him. This is the same man whom he had seen earlier. Kyle remembers that this man was there that night when the firing took place, but Tom Foss, who seemed like a common man to everyone, was actually something else. He tells Kyle that if you want to stay alive, then have faith. Tom Foss is no ordinary man. He warns that if Kyle tries to find out more about his past, his new family's life could be in danger. Every step you take to find out the truth could be a death call for your loved ones. Before leaving, Tom Foss gives one last warning that if you don't stop your search, they will destroy your entire family. At that moment, Kyle decides that he should listen to Tom. He immediately runs away from there, deciding to stop his search here, but now it was too late. The cameras of the government station had spotted Kyle, and an agent mentioned him by the name of X Project. As soon as Nicole returned home, she immediately decided to take Kyle to the hospital so that his injuries could be treated. But as soon as they reach the hospital, an unknown couple comes there who claim that they are Kyle's real parents. They say that they have come to take their son. They have photos, documents, and evidence which prove that he is the real Kyle. I am Kyle's biological parents. The DNA test also confirms that Kyle is their son, but Kyle doesn't feel something is right. He refuses to leave Nicole and his new family. That very night, Kyle goes to Tom Foss. He wants to know the truth from him. Why did these people come here just now? And the biggest question is, are these the people Tom had told about? Tom doesn't beat around the bush. He directly tells Kyle the truth. Yes, these are the same people. These people can easily manipulate DNA evidence. But Tom also says that if Kyle wants to know the truth, he will have to go to a safe place. But as soon as they are talking, a loud sound of a gunshot is heard. Kyle escapes the bullet with his fast reflexes, but it hits Tom's shoulder. Now both of them have to run away from there immediately. A sniper is repeatedly shooting at them. They reach a safe place with great difficulty. There, Tom finally tells Kyle the whole truth. But to maintain the suspense, we have to keep quiet. Nothing is revealed. Next morning, Kyle returns home. He meets his so-called biological parents and says something strange. He says, "I remember everything. Now I know that you guys are telling the truth." Shocking everyone, he says that he is ready to go home with them. Kyle bids goodbye to his adoptive family and leaves with his biological parents. But soon the truth comes out. These people are actually actors who were hired by Tom. Now they are going towards a secret operations center where Kyle is going to know the whole truth. There he meets Adam, who makes a big revelation. You are actually a clone. Kyle gets shocked. Adam explains that Professor Feldman had developed a technology which was to increase the capabilities of humans, but he sold this technology to the government, and because of this, now this has become a war. Then Adam tells another big truth, that Kyle is his clone. Adam is a billionaire who is trying to find a way to stay alive forever. Kyle was a genius and wanted humanity to cross its limits, but now he is fighting with the government, and the biggest shock is that Kyle is not the only experiment. His father's Project XX is still in the government's control, and his gas station stage is about to be completed. Now even more perfect clones are being prepared who are going to start a war to capture the technology. Amidst all this, Kyle is being sent on a new mission. Now, he has become the leader of a team under Adam's orders. And with this, the first season ends. If you enjoyed this explanation, please like, follow, and subscribe for more movie breakdowns. Thanks for watching.